What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. And in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 8. Now don't worry guys, I do understand it's an international break. You guys have to focus on FPL for the upcoming game week as of now, but I just wanted to bring across my initial thoughts as it could be a pretty stacked game week. I myself am maybe looking to use the bench boost in game week 8. You guys might be wildcarding. It's a massive game week potentially. So I'm probably going to drop this video and then wait a few days for next week, and then we can get back to FPL. So as always in these transfer plans, let's take a look at how game week 7 ended, what's the overall score and the overall rank looking like, and then I'm going to be jumping into an initial look at game week 8 and what's my transfer plan looking like. So if that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So I do have good news in relation to game week 7. As you guys can see, once again a green arrow. I know the rank does not look that great at the moment, but it looks a whole lot better. We had about a 1.1 million rank rise to 5.1 million. So that was thanks to 73 points with no chips used, a very respectable game week at the end of the day. Now you guys let me know how your game week also went. Was it a great week? Was it a terrible week? I've seen some massive scores. This season is definitely going to be a challenge that I'm up for though, so let's climb the ranks. You guys can also see just below that 3 free transfers and 0.3 left in the bank for next week, so we can do a little bit of a mini wildcard if required. So I did mention that no chips were used in game week 7. I was mighty close to bench boosting though, but I did kind of prefer my game week 9 bench boost. So if you guys do recall, Dubravka did have a pretty strong fixture. However, I did think he was going to concede. He ended up on only 2 points. And then we have Stash as well as Rodon, who had a tough game against Spurs, and then Van de Ven also played the same fixture. So the thing I didn't like about this bench boost was it was quite reliant on one fixture only, and that was Leeds taking on Spurs, the early kickoff of Saturday. So if you guys did have a kudos, you would have been pretty happy with this result. Since I own the majority defenders from this fixture, a 2-1 was pretty terrible. And more worrying signs for Stash was that he was subbed off quite early in the fixture, and that's not what you want to see. So I guess the conclusion of the story, I was happy I didn't bench boost. Let me know if your bench went better if you guys did use the chip. Now starting off in our starting 11, we had Raya between the sticks. Nothing more much to say here than clean sheet points. I don't even think he actually got a save in this one. Very high clean sheet percentage though against West Ham. Then we had Tarkowski at a pretty eventful fixture, did concede early on but came back with a goal line clearance to get an extra bonus point, adding to his DEFCON points. So maybe last week was just a little bit of a blip in the matrix, Tarkowski not getting those DEFCON points. It was back to normal duty in game week 7. Unfortunately, it wasn't the same for Senesi. With that Friday kickoff, the weather looked simply terrible. I was surprised that he didn't concede up until the second half. But the biggest thing was that he now has lost his DEFCON King ability, as he did miss out in game week 7. So only the 2 points, but you guys will see shortly, I don't really mind Senesi blanking as I owned another Bournemouth attacker, so that made up on Friday night. Then finally Gabriel, I didn't bench him for game week 7. He started, got a clean sheet plus the DEFCON points. Overall pretty strong performance, and once again, really good game against West Ham. Now let's enter to our midfield department where Bruno Fernandes might not be proving his worth of value as he only got the clean sheet point in a pretty comfortable United 2-0 vs Sunderland. These are the games though that I really wish that Bruno performed better in, as it's a great attacking fixture. I need Bruno to kind of make sure that he's worth the points. I still think I will be probably quite patient with him. Unlucky to miss out on DEFCON yet again, was on 11 I think Saturday, but then that dropped to 9 by the end of the games. At least it wasn't another game week where he just missed out on DEFCON. Now I did speak about with Senesi, there was another kind of Bournemouth player that I owned, and that was going to be Semenyo for his 18-pointer. Yes, an 18-pointer, probably one of the biggest scores I've ever got in FPL. I was just quite privileged to be able to watch the second half of this fixture, as I was hoping that he would actually get some returns. Nothing sweeter than wiping out those Anderson clean sheet points. So you guys know what happened with Semenyo. He ended up getting, I think, 2 goals, 1 assist. The assist was pretty special for Kluivert's goal. You guys must go watch it if you haven't. Really made the goal, but just seemed like everything he was touching turned to gold, especially that first goal. So really happy that I did manage to own him. I would probably have still owned him though with the free transfers, but wildcarding him in has proved to be pretty good. Then another player in Dayvy, I needed him to perform as he hasn't been too great. Overall, Everton didn't look that great, but he got a penalty, and that's why you guys picked the penalty takers. Now, like with Semenyo, what made this even sweeter was the fact that he wiped out those Crystal Palace defensive contributions, as well as their clean sheet. He also managed to get an extra bonus point along with Tarkowski, which really made this sweet. I'm looking to take him out next week though, as I don't know how sustainable this Everton attack is. Then the final option, Reinders, has really dropped off from that Game Week 1 performance, only the 3-pointer here, and once again, like Stach, was subbed off quite early in the second half. Does lead me to some concerns of a potential benching that's upcoming, but with the Rodri injury, he might even be more nailed, but he might be playing a more defensive position. Overall though, definitely the king of the game week was going to be Semenyo, a massive haul here. He even beat my captain Haaland, who got 8 double to 16. Now we spoke about the bench boost. I was close to bench boosting, I was even closer to actually triple captaining, so quite happy that I actually missed out on this fixture. When the game did start though, and I think Haaland scored in the 5th minute, I was actually regretting not triple captaining, but the game completely died off after that. Now Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, they did have the chances, but the second half was pretty terrible, but happy that I didn't go for the triple captain. Then unfortunately our forward line continues to disappoint. We've got João Pedro with only the 2-pointer, was against Liverpool though, a little bit of a tougher game, but kind of wish that he scored the goal instead of Caicedo, as Liverpool already conceded. You guys know what happened next. He was also subbed off late into the second half, wasn't involved in any of the goals, and the same could be said about Gyökeres. Now with Gyökeres, the biggest debate you guys know about it was that the fact that he was going to be on penalties at the start of the season, that has now changed of course, because Saka has taken the last one, and who knows who's going to be taking the next one. But I will say, after watching the game and how the penalty kind of occurred, there was a discussion between Gyökeres and Saka, so at least he's in the debate, but as mentioned, who knows who's going to take the next penalty. The fixtures are still pretty decent though for Arsenal, so I don't necessarily think he's a transfer out, but I wouldn't buy him, and would probably say Saka's the better bet at the current moment. Luckily though, even though our forwards ended up blanking, Semenyo definitely contributed to that massive score, 73 points, as mentioned, a 1.1 green arrow, and we're currently sitting at 5.1 million. Let me know how your Game Week 7 went. Always nice to have a green arrow going into international break. Let's go over some quick initial thoughts about Game Week 8. So what I want to do here is quickly go over my current team selection and then talk about my transfers, because the transfers actually do depend on my chip strategy, and that's going to be the bench boost. So I know last week I did mention I could have bench boosted, or Game Week 8 is another bench boostable week, mainly because Dubravka has a pretty strong fixture, and that's Leeds at home. Now the rest of my bench, honestly, these would be the players that I bench if I don't bench boost, would be the double up for Everton in Dayvy and Tarkowski against Man City away. Even though Tarkowski might get those DEFCON points, there are certain fixtures that you definitely do bench your defenders, and Man City away is going to be one of them. Now Van de Ven is an okay fixture. Aston Villa at home, they haven't been the best attack this Premier League season, but Spurs have neither been the best defense. I'm pretty sure the rest of my defenders are better fixtures. Now you guys let me know, would you bench boost this bench at the current moment? Probably not, but I could make a few transfers to make it a bit better. Now in my starting 11, I've got Raya between the sticks, doubled up with Gabriel. Fulham away is a great game. I think Fulham have lost all their fit strikers. Even if they haven't though, Arsenal, the best defense at the moment in the Premier League, and Gabriel always offers that attacking threat. Now we'll be starting Rodon against Burnley. It's just too good of a fixture to ignore. This might be a boring one, this might be a lively one. Rodon has been super attacking though in the previous 2 games. So you guys know what I said about him, his XG was terrible when I was wildcarding. Well, what's happened since then? He's been a different man. I think he even hit the post in Game Week 7. Then with Senesi, hopefully Crystal Palace don't score, but they probably will, so there could be a debate about starting Van de Ven over him. It's just the fact that he's guaranteeing those DEFCONs, whereas Van de Ven has been under the limit, so I think Senesi has a higher floor, but Van de Ven has a higher ceiling. Then in our midfield department, Fernandes versus Liverpool. Even though they've been conceding, don't expect much from him, and if he does win a penalty, as a Liverpool fan, I'll be secretly hoping that he misses it again. Then Semenyo, tough game against Crystal Palace away. They lost to Everton, but this is a home game for them. They're going to be tough here. Semenyo's just in great form at the moment though. Then yes, Stach will be in my midfield department against Burnley. I'm benching in Dayvy over him. Is benching a penalty taker the wrong decision? I think I'm okay with this fixture. Then otherwise Rangers Everton at home is a strong game at home, they should do well. I was hoping that he starts once again. Then Camsey debate, no questions asked here, Erling Haaland definitely the best option in his current form. Don't think I'll be triple captaining here though. Otherwise João Pedro against Angers Nottingham Forest, who looks simply terrible. I just need him to start, but he will be rested in the international break. Then finally Gyökeres penalty debate. Besides, I do feel like he's in pretty bad form, doesn't look that great, but against Fulham, who knows, maybe he can score 1 or 2. Now I did mention this, that my kind of transfer plan does depend on my chip strategy because the starting 11 does look okay. But you guys can let me know, should I bench any of these options for one of my players like an Dayvy? I think the starting 11 is probably the strongest I can go for. Now if I do a transfer, it's going to be to make my bench look better, so let's go over some kind of options. But at the moment, leaning towards postponing it till game week 9 when the bench looks even better. So let's quickly go over that transfer plan. As mentioned, if I do choose to bench boost, that's the only reason why I would do this move, as otherwise I can wait one more game week for information. Another player leaving my team will be Dayvy. Yes, he got a goal, a penalty goal in game week 7, but I just don't know if I rate him that much at the moment. And I feel like Enzo might be a bigger opportunity to score some points. Now the reason I would probably want to wait one more week is I want to know the situation with Cole Palmer. If he is out injured, Enzo should still be on penalties potentially, and that could be a great fixture against Sunderland at home. Now even with Chelsea's fixture in game week 8 though, Nottingham Forest as mentioned don't look fantastic, but I would only do this if I want to bench Enzo for this week and bench boost. Otherwise, as mentioned, I'll just wait till game week 9 to do this transfer potentially, but then I guess Dayvy as Spurs at home. Otherwise, don't really want to make too many transfers like a Tarkowski out as well, for example, to actually bench boost. Just seems like a waste of transfers to activate a chip. So those are my initial thoughts for game week 8. You guys can let me know if you have any questions. Join my Discord server if you guys do want to ask more questions there. Otherwise, enjoy the international break. But this is basically going to wrap up the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new or you haven't subscribed yet. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's me, Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.